G'day guys, Chewie here and welcome back to some more coverage of Warlords of Draenor, where today we're going to do some coverage on the Warrior. I finally got him up to level 100 and I've geared him up for Arena. I've actually already had the privilege of playing a few matches and grinding up 2 weapons for the Gladiator because I had all of that cap to build up, so we're jumping straight in with the slight advantage with the double weapons. And look, I guess what I want to do is just run over some stats, some talents and some glyphs that I'm using with my Fury Warrior while I'm taking it through the arena paces. So let's kick it straight off. As for the stats, because it is a warrior, I'm really focusing on my critical strike and my mastery. It's really between that. I mean, it's critical strike then mastery in order that I'm going for the build that I'm trying to do, because basically when we get into our arena and our items all buff up, our critical strike rating will increase quite significantly, and with Bloodthirst it actually has an additional critical strike rating, so you can pretty much guarantee a critical strike on the Bloodthirst, and in doing so hopefully proc some more triggers on our Raging Blow and our Wild Strike. As for the stats, pretty much the major ones you want to be focusing, obviously strength and going for your PvP gear aside, but it really is all about the critical strike and the mastery. As for the enchants, I would recommend Mark of the Shattered Hand on both weapons, just because it is a double chance of that ability applying, and of course with Mark of Shattered Hand there is an instant damage side of it and also a bleed, so it really is the way to go, that I believe anyway, how I'm rolling with my warrior. As for the talents, guys, we'll be going for the... Oh, that's the wrong one. As for the talents, guys, this is what I'm running with for the arena. I'm going for double time, which basically allows me to get that second charge of charge. It allows me to close the gap between me and the enemies. As for the next tier, I'm going for the enraged regeneration. For the third tier, you can go for the unquenchable thirst for that cooldown, which would be quite complimentary if you think about that critical strike going off all the time. But at the moment, I'm going for sudden death, because if I am getting those auto attacks off, if I'm able to throw down an early execute, the chance of that critting while happening is just incredible, and the damage is too much to give up at this stage. But I pretty much tier between both of these ones. As for the next tier, I really recommend you getting Stormbolt. It is our stun, one of the best stuns we have, so it really is honestly the way to go. As for the next tier, it really is up to you. I prefer to go to the mass spell reflection, because it's just more of a grade of assistance when you're jumping in with 2s and 3s. For the next tier, if you go for Bloodbath, this is if you're going for that real strong burst approach, but all in all I kind of like Bladestorm, because with the warrior we don't have many ways to break out of our CC. In fact, we've got next to none without wasting our trinket, so Bladestorm is basically our CC breaker, and you know what, when you're going in there and you pump some of your other abilities, it is quite complimentary to do Bladestorm with it on. As for the next tier, guys, I really recommend getting Anger Management, because obviously every time we do spend our rage, it's going to give a lower tick to all these abilities, and more importantly, all of our passives and also activation abilities that are on the cooldown timer. That's pretty much a snapshot of the talents I'm going for. As for the glyphs itself for the warrior, I'm going for the Unending Rage, which basically gives me an increase of rage to 120. For the next tier, I'm going for Shattering Throw. I sometimes take that out for the increased speed or for the Bloodthirst, depending. But honestly, I keep this because if you're running into a Pally match or a mage, and you're going for that burst and they use their ultimate, it's your way of removing it. Usually people can obviously interrupt you when they see you casting this ability, but if you get in there nice and sneaky, they're not expecting it, it can really turn the tide of the arena match. As for the next ability, I really recommend Rallying Cry, because what this basically allows us to do is get a 20% leech of healing, and also increase the amount of healing we receive. And look, honestly, it's absolutely vital when you're jumping into those arenas, having that ability to self-heal, other than, of course, using our Bloodthirst. Because other than that, and actually using our Frenzied Regeneration, there's not much heals at all with the warrior. But that being said, he can pack a mean punch, and he's quite vicious as well. And look, that's a quick snapshot about the stats, and I guess the talents and the glyphs that I'm going for. And I guess, the only way to really complement this and jump into some arena matches, taking off from my other videos, I have already applied some keybinds. I've keybinded my Q so I can quickly cast my Stormbolt. I've got my E close by so I can quickly do my interrupt. As for my rotation, it's really about using the charge, breaking down the distance between my enemies, and rolling through these 3 abilities, and then smashing my execute when I see it available. As for my macro, I have created a bit of an overtop macro, which basically allows me to pop a crap ton of cooldowns. You can see them all popping down here. It's pretty much every skill that he has not on global cooldown. This is not really the best macro to create. Honestly, it's really fun because you're activating all your abilities, but I'm still learning to play warrior, and if I can just focus on understanding what's good where, I know it's a bit of a waste with all those cooldowners, but I really pop it probably about 5 seconds into my matches, and I'll show you some examples of where I pop it. Not an ideal macro to create, guys. It's a little bit over the top, but I'm still getting used to it, and as much as I can, I'm casting my rage and my increases, because obviously when we do enrage, that enacts our mastery, which basically gives that increased damage flow. And look, honestly, that's pretty much how I'm rolling with the warrior. So enough talking about it, guys. Let's jump into some twos and see what we can do in this new series with the Fury Warrior. Alright guys, we're just going to do a quick round of arena, so just a quick 2 matches to give you a quick demo of what I talked about with the build on going for the stats, and give you a little gameplay in action. So we've teamed up with a mage here, so it's not too bad. Obviously I am carrying the ability which does allow me to remove his bubble, so I was basically telling the mage, you know, we should just charge the pally, and if he relies on his bubble, I'm just going to remove it. And in saying that too, guys, it also removes handed protection, so it's pretty good, but I'm pretty sure this pally probably won't use handed protection because it's a mage and a warrior combo. So I'm really liking the warrior because I guess looking at all my other characters, he's the first real melee that I've tried to give a shot with an arena, and I'm really enjoying it. It's really fun. They can have significant burst, and that Blade Storm with that crazy macro I created, which I don't recommend doing. It's just because I'm a bit lazy. I really need to break that down a little bit further. But it's just basically my one-click bursting macro, if have you, which sometimes I activate after using a few abilities, depending if I get stunned or feared, I'll use it. But I've activated it there, and the reason for that is they're sort of ignoring me and trying to channel my mage, so I was able to pop that ability there, and you can see my DPS just went through the absolute roof on them. And I've just started to refocus on the pally. You can see he jumped away and bubbled, so unfortunately I realised, you know, like there's no point chasing him because the bubble's about gone anyway. When the whole idea with the bubble is, oh, we nailed the rogue, there you go, dead, 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 yeah, sweet. The whole idea with removal is you channel them and then they bubble there and they think, oh, I'll just start self-healing. So when they do that, you go, no worries, remove the bubble. But if he's going to run and jump away, by the time we get there, he's wasted some time. We wouldn't have been able to get that bubbled. We nailed them. Oh, jeez, I thought I killed the rogue. Did I not kill the rogue? I thought I killed him. Anyway, guys, and now that one, let's jump into another and check out what we can do with the warrior. Those bloody sneaky rogues. Alright, so for the next combo, we've got a marksmanship hunter and a shadow priest. Obviously going to go for the shadow priest, right? Because the priest has the ability to off-heal as well as fear, etc, etc. And we kind of don't mind a fearer because the great thing about our enrage ability is it allows us to remove any fears. So really when you come up against a lock, Warrior just eats up those fears, no dramas whatsoever. So think of it as another CC to break out there. Now, what I did in this match is, and I'm starting to do it a lot more, is I jump into my defensive stance. And the reason for that is I do get that damage reduction, so if they do come out with a burst, I'm sort of reducing some of the damage I'm taking to the face. And to be honest, when I get in there and start doing damages, when I pop my macro, I'm going to be popping one of my abilities, which is the recklessness buff, which basically allows me to go into battle stance anyway. Plus with the set that you get with the warrior, it basically means any damage that you take, you generate rage. So it's kind of not too bad to stay in defensive stance for a little bit. But obviously if we're trying to generate that rage to really smash out some more wild strikes, we're going to really be wanting to jump into that stance. So both these two guys are hiding. I think we just ran around in circles waiting for them to initiate. You know, like at this point, you just really want to get them out and start fighting, right? So they're probably trying to wait for a good moment to jump on my mage. Let's see what they do. Oh, they ran out of their timer. So, oh, there they are right there. They're running around. So I opened up with a quick storm bolt to stun the hunter. I know I said I'd go on the priest, but the priest is on the other side of the island there, so I'm waiting for him to run in and try to be the hero. And there he was. I popped off my intimidating shout, which allowed me to... Oh, wow, look at that. Can you just see that consistent damage there? I've popped my incredibly powerful death macro, and you can just see the damage I'm able to throw off on that mage. On that priest is just incredible. Obviously, the priest is immune there for a few seconds, and I just popped my trinket to get out of that, and the priest... I didn't bother waiting for the priest, so I think I just... I clicked on him to see if he was close by, and I thought, bugger it, you know what, I'll just finish the hunter off. Because we're at a significant amount of rage, we just smash out a couple executes, and there you go, dead. And obviously the priest is all over my mage. Because of the defensive ability, we're coming here to the rescue. That's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed the quick 2 matches of checking the Fury Warrior. I'm really enjoying it. It's a lot of fun. That macro's crazy. But I like it, and I hope you like my build. And as always, guys, thanks for watching.